For people to come on.
Hey everybody, this is William Becker, coming to you live from Sumpter, Oregon. And note to self, going live works a lot better when you hit the go live button. What a shock. Anyway, I'm a medium, not a techie. So I'm here with a group of people that we've been up here for. This is our third night. Exploring, having some good adventures. I've gotten a lot of work done, actually, and learned a few things from different kinds of different spirits. Let's just say that. And so I'm going to let people introduce themselves and tell you what all they've been up to and experiencing, and I think you'll have a good time. Okay, let us start with the gentleman with the bluish purplish shirt.
I'm Tim.
Do you want to say any more of an introduction? You don't have to.
No.
Okay.
I wish
I'm Brian. I spent the night at the Duke Hotel.
Okay.
The Duke room in the B&B at Sumpter, and just finished a tour of the Sumpter Pioneer Cemetery today.
Okay. And next?
I'm Ed, and I'm kind of the person being drug along on this. But I have a lot of fun, and I operate the drone and take photos with the group. And she's the one who usually makes me come, but I enjoy this a whole lot.
I think more than you let on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have a lot more ability than you think you do. And you, young lady.
Yes, I am Shauna. I'm here exploring and learning new things. William is wonderful, teaching us about the world, really, about the environment.
No, I'm blushing.
What?
No, I'm blushing. Thank you. Any more you want to add to the introduction?
No.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, and unfortunately I can't fit everybody in quite, Shauna and Tim, when I get everybody. Oh, now that works a little better. Yay! Okay, as you can tell, we're extremely high-tech here. I'm a well-polished producer, and all of that, but we're going to have a pretty free-flowing conversation, and just, I don't want to do anything formal. It's not as much fun. So, who wants to start? Tell us a little bit about some of what you've been picking up and learning and experiencing.
I'll go first. We were at the Pioneer Cemetery and did some drone work, and it was a nice sunny day, just great, having a good time, trying to get some good pictures, and I just happened to walk across a certain spot that kind of hit me a little bit, had a very anxious feeling kind of come over me, and was accompanied with a foul odor, and was a little bit disturbed, and I called Shauna over to see if she can kind of confirm what I was experiencing, and never had that happen before anywhere.
Okay. And did you confirm it?
Yes. So I walked, he told me about it. In fact, I saw him not feeling well. And, so he told me, and I walked over and I didn't smell anything. So I went back, and lo and behold, I understood what he was talking about. So we were confirming what each other has experienced. And of course, we go get William. Come on, William, come smell this. Do you smell it? And the smell was gone.
Right. Oh, what was the last name on the tombstone? Was it Holmes?
I didn't
HOLM
feel
or
comfortable
something?
taking a picture. It was kind of telling me no.
Yeah,
It was
Told
not-
us no.
Yeah, they did. They were
I didn't
very
even look.
unwelcoming.
yeah. And the woman, I mean, it was a husband and wife. They were born within a day apart.
Bubba and Viola.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me?
It was Bubba and Viola.
Okay. Oh, that's right, Viola. I've had her name wrong. And I kind of have had a sense. I mean, she showed me herself rising out, basically, of the coffin. It was fine. I had a little bit of a sense that she might have been put in a little prematurely, but it would have been okay because, I mean, it didn't speed anything up because, you know, she was at that point. And I don't know if I'm right. I have no idea. I don't want to go try to figure out if I'm right. I thought, okay, good. I thought I hit the wrong button and ended it. But we're still going. Anything else happen there at the cemetery? For anybody?
I did see sparkles. There were sparkles touching the tops of the grass on occasion, not consistently, not in any particular graveside or anything like that. It was just looking around and just seeing a little bit of sparkles on top of the grass.
Wasn't that mainly also towards when William came over? The background of the cemetery did appear to be smoky.
That too. Mm-hmm.
So I was concerned there was a fire.
Mm-hmm.
It did not smell smoke. And it did dissipate rather quickly.
Yeah, and we were there at a time when the weather was changing, and we're at about 4,500 foot elevation, probably another 100 feet higher, or maybe a little more at the cemetery. So I can see where that would be a weather phenomena.
In one direction, we did verify. It was not that way any other direction, but just
Yeah, you,
towards
you
the back
turn
of the
around
grave.
and look, and it wasn't like that behind us.
Right.
Just simply the cemetery.
Yeah. Well, and I found two trees together that you could almost see the energy field in between the two of them. Kind of like the old Energizer getting ready to work. And it felt different. Usually beings between dimensions can come and go as they want. I don't think that there has to be these set portals and vortexes or whatever. It's just kind of like going through a beaded curtain. But this felt like an area that was specifically kind of the express elevator in and out to a specific spot. But I looked, nobody was there. Because I've had those experiences before where they have come through and taken a look and go, oh, shoot, and fade back away. It's rather interesting when that happens. But, yeah, I didn't smell anything at the other place. Lots of interesting stuff. Devin and I are working on a book on the Fae this weekend, and a lot of interesting stuff on that. But what else?
What about the lights?
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
Well, when we first arrived on Friday, Tim and I are sitting down waiting for William, you, to show up.
I'm always late.
The lights click. We hear this click, and the lights turn off in the main room. Well, we weren't sure what was, maybe it's a timer. So we turned it back on again. Oh, how long was it before it turned off again?
25, 30 minutes.
About
But
that.
you have, when you turn it on, it clicks.
Yeah, you're pushing a button.
You're pushing the button and it
Yeah,
clicks.
and you push a button.
And we heard it click off.
Yeah, and it's the same button you push to click it on and off. It looks like a normal toggle light switch, but it isn't. It doesn't toggle. It just goes straight in and out.
Right. So that happened, and Tim and I were coming back outside to unload some gear, and the owner just happened to be right outside, and we said, hey, we might have an issue, we don't know. your light keeps turning off. And she asked us, what are you talking about? We've owned this place for 14 years. We've never had a light click and turn off. And well, we explained that it's the light right here by the front door. And it has clicked twice now within an hour. And really, she didn't have much to say about that.
She said she was going to send her husband over to let the world know. I was like, no, I want to keep going.
Well,
As long as it's not an electrical short.
Yeah, well, yeah.
you know, there was no smoke or smell of ozone or anything of that sort. Well, you were going to show up within about an hour, and Tim and I had discussed that we aren't going to say a word to you about this, and we just want to see what happens. And well, you arrived, and within a short period of time, it happened right in front of you.
Yeah, and I was talking and I noticed it got a little dimmer in part of the area, but I was talking to people, was what I was focused on, and I did hear a bit of a click, but I didn't think anything about it, and then they asked me, and yeah, it was, and then putting all the rest of it together, and yeah, there wasn't anything in here that would have turned it off. It doesn't seem to keep happening. It's not a motion.
It hasn't happened since.
I've been here 3 days.
Yeah,
It was just the first
and let me explain a little bit too to people how this is set up. This switch for those lights is by the door downstairs. Actually, that door. Well, what they do, there's a loft in the back part. So back over where you see the door back there, a loft over that space. And these lights that are controlled by that switch are on the ceiling in the back part of that loft. I don't know why they're set up that way, but that's where they are. And so it's obviously not a motion or anything because it's the wrong place and it doesn't go off all the time. So it was just a very interesting piece. Am I going to say it's paranormal? I would like a little bit more information. Do I think it's very possible? Yes.
Well, this is the first time that it's been reported in 14 years. We had asked the owner, and we asked her if this was a timer switch. They needed to just turn the lights on, and they stay on for a period of time and click off.
Right.
That's not the case, as we've seen the last few days now.
Yeah.
So right now, we have no explanation.
Yeah. And shoot, I've seen shadowy figures popping and looking around my bedroom door when nobody else has been up. And there's nobody around. There aren't any windows or lights that could have done that, or mirrors. A little bit of voices, but it's hard to say for sure. There was something banged on the right out here, like the door, and it didn't quite make the house shake, but it felt like it might. And
there's something going on at that time when that happened. You were wrapping up another previous appointment. We were out exploring the areas to the north here. We were out of cell phone range, and I was attempting to send you a message that we were back on coming. You had requested that we send you a text as we come back. Could not do that, and I believe it's at that exact same time you were getting ready to leave. You were to bang on the door. As we met halfway, 6 minutes apart. So it's the timing was odd. We were trying to actually contact you at that point.
Right, and I didn't ever get a message. You got mine that I'd sent you that I was on the way there about that time, I think is what you said. But it's still interesting.
The cell phone range, and then we did receive a message.
Right, and I came out right away. I mean, within 5 seconds I had the door open, and there wasn't anyone around. And this is all gravel. You could hear somebody's running around or something. There wasn't anyone out here. There wasn't anything on the ground that could have been thrown. There wasn't any mark indicating anything had been thrown. I have no idea, but there have been a few other times where it sounded like things hit walls or just in general were almost like teenagers pulling pranks that are pretty harmless but kind of bordering on, hey, be careful, you're going to get out of line here. You're going to break something if you're not careful. Yeah. So, yeah, it was kind of strange, but there's definitely activity in this house that I've seen and experienced, and I'm pretty fussy about what I label to be activity. Now, you guys have been a lot of places around. What else have you experienced or seen?
Well, I'm sleeping in the Duke room, right? The Duke room tonight. So I'm anxious and excited to see what goes on. I've heard other people have had experiences there, some different types of feelings and dreams, things like that. So looking forward to it.
Very
Maybe
good.
I'll have more tomorrow.
Very good. Let me know if your boots are outside the door or if your luggage has been packed out for you.
Absolutely.
Although I've only heard that happening to men.
Well, Ed's going to come. So hopefully he'll come.
Okay.
I've almost got him convinced, but maybe they'll pick on him. Wouldn't that be cool?
I think it'd be cool if they picked on both of you. And now this is at the Sumpter B&B. I've gone there several times. I've had classes there several times. I haven't stayed there yet without having physical experiences and other people too. It's great. And they're all nice. And don't believe the dead files. They lied. The show did.
So today I was there for about 2.5 hours or whatever, just by myself in the Duke room. Actually, the entire bed and breakfast was empty, and so it was just me. Unfortunately, I didn't sense anything. I attempted, reaching out, but it was very peaceful. No experience there for me.
Okay. And that's something I do want to emphasize, folks. Go there and stay. It is very peaceful. They do great breakfast. It's a true B&B, not an Airbnb. The owners are fabulous, and it's very comfortable and very peaceful. So we're talking ghost stories, but there's nothing dangerous. And if you tell them, hey, look, leave us alone, they will. So don't be afraid to come. Come and check it out and explore. Now, what else with you guys have done? You were down at the Granite Cemetery.
Went to the Granite Cemetery. Very interesting. I took a picture of about 20 different tombstones because they were children.
Okay.
And some of them even described how they passed.
Okay.
Some of them, they didn't know their names.
Mm-hmm.
So they just put unknown, and they would put the name of the mine where they died.
Now, was that kids or minor or adults that would have been?
The adults.
Okay.
Yes. But most of it's 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 7-year-old. Just shocked me a little.
Well, in that, historically, we're dealing with a time that even if you weren't out in mine country, there was quite a celebration, really, if a kid lasted to 5. Because if they made it to 5, there was a pretty good chance they were going to get through childhood. It wasn't guaranteed, but disease and everything else was hard on kids. And it was childbirth and stuff was really hard on mothers. And, we're talking pre-medicine of our quality now.
They were dated like 1880.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Granite's an old mining town. It's really basically a ghost town. It's got 11 permanent residents.
11?
11. That's what and the mayor is a friend of mine who actually owns, or used to own, the house that you're staying in now. And she told me interesting stories about it, which I've already told you and Ed. So,
It's been so peaceful there.
yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just quiet and peaceful. I haven't felt or seen anything in that cabin.
Well, you know, folks, it's something to really pay attention to, too. Yes, this area is very haunted, and there's very much an elemental element to it. I know people who have physically seen Bigfoot, Sasquatch up in the hills, and these are people who I have never found to be dishonest. And they've seen them with their eyes clearly in the middle of the day through binoculars, without binoculars, and there's no mistaking what they saw for something else. And they don't look like bear and, you know, the whole thing. But it is still a very peaceful place to come and stay. What other kinds of things? What kinds of things did you want to accomplish? Have you?
Well, I'm excited about tonight in
Mm-hmm.
the new room.
I hope you don't have the experience I had Friday. I had a very traumatic nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
I did wake up with a large bang about 4:36 a.m. I was alone in the entire hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I did set up some gear. I did some recordings in the main room, in my room, the Duke room, for about an hour after the event, and just hope you get a good night's sleep.
I'm excited. I'll bring it on.
Yeah, and actually, Brian, you're the only person I know who hasn't had a good night's sleep in there. Now, I've known a lot of people who have had a lot of activity, and like I say, you know, it's like, oh, how'd my boots get outside the door, or how'd that lamp get turned off or on, or things like that. But
I don't know what the noise was, but maybe not, I'm sure maybe not paranormal, but it did wake me up. And
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, the whole building's pretty haunted. That building started out as a hospital, which was really state-of-the-art at the time. I think it was built 1900. And it was a brothel then for several years. And it was after the big fire in town in the 1920s. I can't remember the exact date. You get this, though, folks. Sumpter really thought they had it made in the shade. They had this great, inventive fire suppression system. They ran hoses under the sidewalks. Guess what the sidewalks were made of? Wood. So, wooden buildings catch fire. Guess what other wooden structures catch fire? Guess what happens to the hoses of the fire suppression system? But the B&B was at the end, separated from the other buildings a bit. The school, which is just right up there, it's been turned into a house. I think that was a school. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're a school or a church building. So some of the original buildings are around, but a lot of them were built after the fire. But it was a Mason's Lodge then, and this family have had the B&B for 25, 26 years. The current owner's parents retired 5.5 years ago, and they ran it for 20 years. So it's good. And there are lots of these Airbnb places here. You can call the Sumpter B&B, and they can set you up with them. And they're great too. So, and I think they're all haunted. But, okay, let me see if anybody put up a question. Thank you, Daniel. Different people. Yeah, nothing stops the daily chores. Well, she took, yeah, that's a good piece. I love it. That's one of the things I really do enjoy live. My twice a month show is live. I like the dynamics of the live, and sometimes audience reacts or interacts, and just a little bit of unknown, and I'd never script anything much. I'll have a few questions that I want to make sure I cover, and we have a conversation, and for me, that's fun. Hopefully for other people too. And let's see, I'm not seeing any questions, hopefully, or if anybody has any. Do any of you have anything else you want to say? Share? Sum up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm very interested in hearing what happens tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And with that, folks, I may have to just record it or something. I don't know if we'll have time for a live feed, because we have to be checked out at 11, but that doesn't mean we have to be on the road at 11.
Exactly. I get up at 6, so I'm good. I'll come wake you up.
Not before 9.
It looks to kill.
I know. I'm usually pretty genial, but I have my pressure explosive points. And Tim or Brian, neither one of you have anything to add?
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going back tonight to walk through some stuff and do an EVP session or two. So.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear if you catch anything. And get creative with your EVP session and act like you're having instead of focusing on asking them questions, spend at least part of the time focused on having fun in a conversation, and just like it's party time or coffee break time, because often for investigators, that's when they get the best EVPs, because the entities, they have no desire to be grilled or questioned, but they'll join in the party. And that happens a lot. So you guys have done probably more investigating than I have, but just an idea. Let's see, Daniel says, I would like to say that you can inform your guests to remember that all spirits were once alive, so it helps to remember that when they experience anything, and respect the spirits. And you're exactly right, Daniel, and that's one of the key pieces I focus on in my classes and mentoring workshops and individual work I do with people. I tend to treat the entities, both those who have been human and those that weren't, probably better than I do the living. And I try to be respectful to the living. And we're invading their space. We're uninvited guests. And so that makes it even more important for all of you out there. Okay, with that, I think I'll go ahead and close this down. I will post it on my personal Facebook page as well, and Instagram, and a couple things if I can figure out how to do it. And
it'll help you.
yeah, I used to work with, and I still use a computer every day, but back when I was in the cubicle office world, I was getting all the latest training on all the software I was using. I was helping to test software and different things for different programs, and I had the use and such where I was up on stuff better and I could figure things out easily. If I didn't know it, it was usually pretty common sense. But it's been a few years since I've done that, and now it's not easy. Yeah, let's see. Daniel says, yep, I've done ghost hunting and was taught early to respect their space. Everyone have a great time, and he asked me to enjoy our travels. So I thank you so much, Daniel. And all the rest of you who have watched or will watch later, I thank you as well. And good night to you all.